Hello and welcome to the 8th episode of Pedz Game Shack. Today I have a wonderful guest that goes by Victor Mildew. And you may have heard him on the G Arcade Twitch cast, otherwise you may not. You should also know him from his wonderful Christmas songs that he needs to continue to do every year. Or I'm going to be very upset with him. How you doing, dude?
I'm great. Hey, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Just chilling out. Wanted to talk about games.
I'm at the right place.
Yeah, I think I have. Probably. First section is currently playing. Second section, top news, which I don't know if we'll talk about anything for top news because personally, I don't think there's anything that interesting to talk about. You did mention Chris Pratt and Mario, but I really don't care. And then there's We Play Together, which will be the game of the episode. So right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Oh fuck, I've got my phone. Jesus Christ, what's going on tonight? No.
I don't believe it.
Right. I can't remember what I was saying. Fucking hell.
You don't care about Chris Pratt?
Yeah, so I don't really care about Chris Pratt with Mario, so we may as well just move on to what we are currently playing. And I'm wondering, what are you currently playing, dude?
Well, as of right this very moment, I'm replaying Uncharted 4. Purely because I watched the film the other day and I'd expected it to be dreadful, and it's actually pretty good. I mean, it's horribly miscast. I mean, the two people acting in it were pretty good, but they're not really the embodiment of those characters. But it was pretty good, stupid fun, and it kind of got me thinking about the game. So I'm playing that again. It's the PlayStation 5 Legacy Collection, I think it's called.
I know. Yeah.
So you basically pay like, I think it was like 10 quid to upgrade if you have a previous version of it. And the bugger all difference. I think it's a higher frame rate. It's pretty good. It's still, I remember why I only played it the once. I mean, it's got its moments, but it's pretty long and plodding. But what I have recently, very, very recently finished is the Outer Wilds. Not to be confused with the Outer Worlds, which everybody does, including myself. But that's the one. I don't know. Have you played it?
I've not played Outer Wilds. I have played Outer Worlds.
Well, the Outer Wilds, I don't know if you're familiar what type of game it is.
I believe it's like a thing where you die and you have to restart or something. That's all I know.
Kind of, yeah. It's I've bounced off it several times because people rave about it being like one of those like sort of all-time great puzzle games, and it being just amazing. And I started it on the Xbox, and the frame rate was atrocious to the point where it was like kind of like a bit. I think it's like 30 frames per second, but it's one of those games where you really notice it's 30 frames, and there's no motion blur hiding anything. It was so choppy, and I was just doing pretty crap because it's set in a micro solar system. So you got the sun right in the middle, and you start on one of, I think it's about 6 planets, and they're quite small, like sort of Mario Galaxy sized planets, really. And it's all physics based. So if you jump in the air, the planet moves from underneath you if the if the gravity's low, and you sort of get thrown into this thing with no real explanation of what to do, just to sort of, you're part of this little Outer Wilds venture as a little sort of exploring company, and just given a spaceship and said, "Oh, go off and try and find one of the other people." And you kind of got to sort of piece together what's happening from there. So it's what starts off the opening of the game's pretty weak, I think, because it doesn't really do much to help you, because it's one of those little tutorial-esque areas where it's teaching you the basics of everything. But the sort of surrounding that you're doing it in is quite twee and kind of like imagine like a village in Zelda where it's like just NPCs about kind of saying nothing really, and doesn't really give a great impression of what the game's going to be like. Because once you actually get off the planet and stop crashing into stuff and get the hang of flying about and things, there's really cool. There's like a comet that orbits once per play, and when it gets close to the sun, the ice melts on it, and you can get further inside it. And there's a forest moon, and there's a twin a twin planet that's orbiting the other one. One's got loads of sand on, one's loads of rock. And during the course of your 20 minutes of game time, the sand transfers from one to the other and the levels change. And it's really, really, I got completely hooked on it recently because the Xbox had a patch to improve the frame rate up to
nice.
60 frames a second, which transformed it. And I got really hooked on it. And yeah, brilliant. I think it's one of the best games I've played all year. I'm so glad I gave it another go because I think that's like the 4th or 5th time of trying to play it.
I've never played it. I've heard it's meant to be good, but I'll have to at some point give it a shot. The only time I think I've seen people mention is for like it reminds them of Dark Souls or something in the whole dying and getting your stuff back, and I think that's all I remember of hearing about it. And I could even be wrong about that.
Yeah, the sun at the center of this solar system is in the process of going supernova. So you've got, I think it's 22 minutes of real in-game time,
right?
From your character waking up on the start planet to the sun exploding, and when it explodes, you just get sort of set back to the start again. But your spaceship keeps a little log of anything you've discovered. It keeps a little log of it permanently across the playthroughs. Or if you die, if you suffocate or if you fall into some magma or drown or something like that, you just start again. And it's you'd think it'd sound annoying because like that's sort of thing. So what's the point of that? But the time comes into it. There's certain things that only happen at a certain time. And you suddenly you twig like, oh, hang on a minute. Yeah, if I went back there earlier on in that 20 minutes, maybe this wouldn't have happened yet. Very clever.
Right. Yeah, that does sound pretty clever actually. It's a puzzle game. I didn't know. I'm not great with puzzle games.
Yeah, it's more of a puzzle thing, as in it's not a puzzle game in the sense of like an Uncharted game or like The Witness or something like that, where you've got like a room with a load of stuff you've got to slide around until something unlocks. It's not like that. It's more the puzzle is figuring stuff out. It says little clues. There's an ancient race of people have left a mysterious language about, and you scan the language and read it. And then whatever you scan gets added to your ship's computer to carry over to your next playthrough. So there's little clues in there. Like it might say, oh, we need to go into this cave and look for a bright light shining up. And you think, oh, well, I've run out of time now, but I'll go back to that. And that, that's the puzzle is really the knowledge you take between each loop.
That sounds cool, actually. I'll have to have a look at that. It's on Game Pass, I think.
Yeah,
so
yeah, it is.
I'll have a look at it. Yeah.
So even better that I technically didn't pay for it. I mean, it's the thing that threw me off the first few times of trying it was that because it's the solar system's kind of simulated and the gravity's simulated and the momentum of your spaceship. It's not like something like No Man's Sky where you just point your ship at something and go. If you don't fly it properly, you're going to smack into stuff, and that really pissed me off the first few times. I was like, oh. I was trying to I think I landed on something, finally landed, and then I got out and the gravity was low and I kind of jumped with my jetpack, and then the planet just moved from under me, and then my ship buggered off and I ended up falling into the sun. I think it was like, oh, sod this. But once you got the grips of that stuff, it's great. Yeah.
You jumped and went into the sun.
Yeah, I couldn't, because I jumped, the planet was orbiting and just moved away from me, and I didn't have the speed to catch it back up again.
That's cracking.
And then I used all my just fell into the sun.
Well, I definitely need to play this now just so I can do that.
Yeah, it's really cool. But like I say, the start area, it kind of sets the scene with things. People are explaining things, but the fact that it's like kind of little village with little sort of goblin type people in really doesn't give a good impression of what the game's going to be like, because it's nothing to do with that sort of thing, really. It's more about exploring and trying to figure out what's been happening and how you can stop things and how you can manipulate situations.
Yeah, definitely one I'm going to have to check out. That it does sound a lot more interesting than I thought. Like,
yeah, it's really cool.
Have you been playing anything else?
I have a list here.
Ooh.
I made a list and I'm checking it twice, getting the Christmas theme already. I'm just going to reel off everything I've played, or I think everything I've played. I had to just check my Xbox achievements and things. Most of these I played to completion, and I think all but about 2 are thanks to Game Pass. So I played the Myst remake.
All right, yeah.
Death's Door, which was great.
Yeah, Death's Door I bought on release. and I still haven't got around to it. And
That's
it's
really good.
something
Yeah,
I
I
really want to
really
play.
enjoyed that.
Before you go through your list, can I ask, have you played Tunic?
Yeah, that is. Oh god, that was brilliant. I love that.
Which did you prefer? Because I couldn't get in. I loved the look of Tunic, and I played it. I just couldn't get into it.
They're
I was
quite
like,
different. Yeah,
I couldn't get into it. But Death's
I ended.
Door, hoping will be different.
I ended up preferring Tunic purely because it's got some really sort of quite deep, mysterious puzzles to it. Where I'd like,
Right.
I actually had to go old school to the game, you know, to the in a good way, and get a notepad out and start scribbling stuff down and drawing maps and writing notes for myself, but in a way that was really enjoyable. Not like, oh Christ's sake, you know, why can't it just give me a menu and tell me these things?
It's fair enough.
So I think Death's Door is much more action based and you know, sort of a bit more Metroidvania, whereas Tunic appears to be sort of Zelda-y and it appears to be the same type of thing, but there's more of a mystery to it. I think people struggle with Tunic because it's quite difficult and the combat can be quite unforgiving. You got to sort of really,
I think that's
yeah,
what my
it's
issue
quite
with it
tricky.
was. I need to get back to it really, but
Yeah, but yeah, that was. I mean, that was one of my games of the year, I'd say. Really enjoyed it. And it makes it's one of those things when you figure a puzzle out. I had a page of just scribblings and ramblings. I was like, right, okay, and it finally clicked. I sat in bed thinking about it. I was like, right, I'm going to try this tomorrow. Got a little notepad out, and it's one of those like, proper eureka moments. Like, god damn, yeah, really satisfying.
Oh, that sounds cool.
But I played next was Telling Lies. Have you played that one?
No.
This is, mind you, most of these are on Game Pass, so you probably better check them out.
Telling Lies is one of those FMV games, isn't it?
Yeah, that's really clever. I mean, it's a bit kind of, when I finished it, it was a bit unsatisfying. I think it's just you just run through it, and you search for clips. So you play somebody sitting at a computer,
yeah,
running through archive footage of these 4 characters. And it covers, I think it covers a period of about a month or something like that, or 6 months.
All right.
And you search, you use like a Google style search engine, search for keywords. So I might put Pedz in, and anything that's got the word Pedz in the video where they speak it will do it. It might be like a 3-second clip. It might be a 40-second clip. It might be a 5-second clip. But it's from the perspective of, it'd be you chatting at the screen like you're talking on a webcam, and it's a one-sided conversation, so you don't hear the other side of it. But then if you search for the other side of it, what you think they're talking about, you can see the other side of it, and you sort of, that's a piecing together what's going on and trying to.
Oh, right.
But the acting is fantastic in it. It's got I can't remember the actors' names. There's a woman that was in *Halt and Catch Fire*, and there's another guy was in a program called Quarry, and he's been in a few other things. But the acting is superb. Like, completely, at no point do you ever think, oh, it's just people acting. Really, really, really well acted, and it's quite cool. I mean, I think it took us maybe 3 nights to sit, because we played it together. Just sat and watched it. I mean, I say the way
just to
it
verify
ended.
for the listeners, not me and you and your wife.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, I managed to trick somebody into marrying me, believe it or not. Yeah, but it was. I mean, I think because there's so much footage on there, and you only have a finite amount of time to view to go through it. I think the story you pick out, you'll kind of, if you hear keywords, you'll kind of go off in a certain direction and think, I want to find about this, and end up going down that sort of rabbit hole of finding out about that. Because at the end, I think we read up on it. There's loads of storylines didn't even know were going on, but it's all there if you just sort of pull at the right string, so to speak, pull at
That's
the right
cool.
threads.
It's made by, is it the person who made Her or something? And
Yeah,
they
Her
just
Story.
recently made Immortality or something they recently did.
Oh, I can't remember the name of the developer, but I think it's only like a small team. But yeah, it's really, it's really something really different, really interesting.
Yeah, I want to have a look at them.
Yeah, it's a good one to play together. I don't know if your wife would be interested in it.
We play some games together, but I don't know. I don't know if she'd be interested in it. Maybe if we started. We like films.
Yeah, give it a go. It's because it's brilliantly acted. It's yeah. There's a bit of swearing and sexy time in it, if you find the right clips. So
Oh,
yeah,
definitely watching it now.
yeah, play it play it with your kids or anything. But
No.
yeah, but that's another highly recommended. I mean, I think it's again take you a couple of evenings to play it. I also played The Forgotten City, which
Not
is
even heard of it.
that was really good. I found that because I think I was reading a thread somewhere where people were trying to find puzzle games that are sort of exploration based, and it's like you wake up on a boat in a forest, and there's some random woman. This is not FMV. This is like actually in-game character who guides you to this sort of portal thing, and you wake up in a city which is in a kind of bottom of a cave thing. There's loads of Romans and Greeks inhabiting. There's like Greek structures and things, and that's kind of like a time loop thing. It's like there's a thing called the golden rule, and if the golden rule is violated, which would be by stealing or murdering, then everyone dies and the loop gets reset. So it's trying to figure out how to set people free, how to save people, how to kill people off without violating these rules because these people are bad, how to get objects off people. That was another pen and paper job. That was really good fun.
Yeah, that sounds good. I don't think I've heard of it, but then again, it could have popped up in something like to announce it or something, and I've talked about it and then forgotten about it since because I've got a memory like a fish.
The style of it reminds me of Serious Sam, not in that it's stupid, like people shouting and stuff. I think that the graphic engine and the sounds on it, the music. Sorry, I think it might just be like stock sounds that I've heard before, but it's that's worth playing. I mean, I think that's maybe like a 10-hour thing. It's quite it's a good game. It's not like a high budget thing. You can tell it's like a little small team have made it. I think it's only 3 guys made it, 2 or 3 guys.
Oh, that's cool.
I think it might have been even kickstarted because I think right at the end they say it's pretty much like a message from them saying like this is a labour of love and thanks for helping us out, and yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, it does sound interesting.
I for some reason randomly fancy playing Batman. It must be because I saw the film. So I played one of the Arkham Asylum, I think it was.
Arkham Asylum is my favorite of
good.
Asylum City and Night. I didn't finish Origins, but I loved Asylum.
Yeah, it's really good. It's still really good. I mean, the character Joker's brilliant, and the Batman guy, is it Kevin Conroy?
Kevin Conroy does Batman. Yeah, Mark Hamill.
It's a lot smaller game than I remember.
That's what I liked about the first game is the smaller
like 8 hours.
Yes, it's quite short and it's like a small location.
Yeah, but it was in its favour. I was quite happy to be kind of. It's quite nice that it wasn't like a 30-hour slog.
Yeah, I think that's the problem with the later games is they get too big and too long, especially as you got more side stuff added in.
Yeah, they've always got to trump themselves. I think it's like doesn't always need to be this. I mean, the thing is, if they released an 8-hour Batman game now, people go, "Oh God, it's only 8 hours." But if it's a really enjoyable 8 hours, I'd rather play that than 40 hours of crap.
Yeah, though I wouldn't want to pay the £70 price tag for those 8 hours.
Yeah, right. Thank God for Game Pass. Lego Star Wars, that's one I did buy.
Oh yeah, I bought that. I haven't played it yet.
You're getting as bad as Jawa. You got 5 copies of it.
No, I have one thing I will say. I know you talked about something a second, but speaking of Jawa, I have actually not because of Jawa specifically. It's because of Jawa I bought the game Balan Wonderworld. I have actually been playing that recently.
I did buy that. I think it's I can't remember which shop it was. Might have been Argos. Had it for like I think it's like $5.99 or something.
Yeah, I think I paid. I think $10 for it from Amazon.
It might have even been 10. I think it's just. I mean, it was like a fire sale on it. I think it was. I fully completed it. Like it was crap, but at the same time, I was really enjoying it. I can't really quite put my finger on why. It had a nice, very Dreamcast type vibe to it. I think.
My opinion of the game is it has some good ideas, but they're executed badly.
Yeah, it's
the game has been so much more.
Yeah, it's just when it started out, I thought it was quite funny with the intro, as in the FMV thing. It looked gorgeous. Oh
Yeah.
God, is this going to end up being like really unfairly criticised? And it's actually really bloody good. And then it shows all these great things, and then it dumps you into that hub world, which is completely empty. There's nothing in it. It looks awful.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks great later on when it's full of stuff, but it's like, why? I mean, that's just a classic. Why did no one go, hang on a minute, to start our game off? Maybe you should start off in one of the levels and then come out to that. That might sort of leave a better impression.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm glad. I enjoyed that. I thought
Yeah.
£10 got more than my money's worth. I had a good time with
Yeah,
that.
I haven't finished it yet. I've got to get like, I'm not gonna 100% the game because I just don't do that with games. I have too many games to play. But I am planning on beating the final boss, but I need to get another like 9 statues to do that.
Yeah,
I'll do that soon.
so those bouts can piss off. Oh, the ballot, the
Yeah.
gold hat.
Yeah.
It's like, this is exactly the same as the last 20 of these I've done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awful.
Yeah. I agree.
Awful,
I agree.
awful.
One thing I will say about the game is the bosses I really like.
Yeah,
Best part of the game.
they're really, really creative. There's one of them. What level was it? One of the levels in particular, I think it was quite far on in the game, which sounds like you've probably been to. I forget what it was.
I've been
But it
told
was
12
like,
worlds.
there was one of them, and it was just like, it was so well polished and laid out, sort of uncharacteristically so compared to the rest of the game. It's like, God, if it was all like this, like, I forget it's quite a long time ago I played it now, but I was just like, God, this level's really good. Like, it looks good, and the boss was great.
Yeah. I was when I was playing it, I think I got to like the 6th world or something. I was like, this is the best world so far. I think it was like a clockwork tower thing.
It might have even
Like,
been that. Yeah,
I was
it was
like,
probably
yeah,
that
this
one
has
actually.
got the best platforming of the game and everything.
Yeah,
and,
I think it was that one. Yeah,
it's a shame that like the rest of the game lets down, but there is some truly good parts of that game. It's just it falters because I think a lot of the execution was just balls.
we need someone to just come in and trim a lot of the crap out as well. I mean, it's just like, take the bouts. Unless you're going to make them different, just take them out. They're rubbish.
Yeah.
Just just daft things. But in fact, I got way too many games on there to go through. But a few highlights of it was Deathloop, which is I played at the start of the year on my PlayStation
Deathloop is a game I
5.
want to play, but I've like every game I've played by the developer, I forgot their name right now.
Arcane.
Arcane, yeah. I think I spoke about it with Ginny, I think. But I was saying to him, like every game I've played by them, while I can see they're good games, they just don't click with me.
Yeah, I don't think you. Yeah, if that's the case, in fact, I remember you talking about that. If that's the case, yeah, I don't think you get on with it, because as soon as you play it, it's like, oh yeah, if you're into their games, it's immediately obvious it's one of theirs. So yeah, the it's one of my, again, games of the year. I think I love the puzzle nature of having to kill 7 people off, but only having 4 times to do it. How do I move these people around in the levels to get to, so there's 2 in one level, so I can get them in one, and things like that. That's the really good bit about it.
Yeah, it sounds interesting. Like I said, the games are not like, I don't play them and think these games are crap. I play them and think these games are good. Why don't I like them? What's wrong with me?
Yeah, it's like that though, isn't it? Just certain games you just think, well, I can see it's great, but I'm crap at it. So what can you do?
I'm like,
Sonic Origins, which was pure nostalgia, really, because I always loved those old games. So I played
yeah, I've
all
got
of
that.
those.
I haven't played it.
It's a theme here, isn't there?
Yeah,
I played Guardians of the Galaxy, the single player one, which is on Game Pass.
I played that this year and I actually quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, I was really surprised. It's because a friend of mine said, like, he just sent me a message, said, look, I just thought I was bored. I just wanted a game to play, thought I'd give it a go. And I was really surprised how good it was. So, right, I'll give that a go. Then, yeah, and I was just like, as soon as it started up, I was like, oh, I didn't expect it to be as kind of polished as this. And the voice acting, I thought it was really, really well done. It was really good, like genuinely funny, which I wasn't expecting either. Like, I was actually
I enjoyed
properly
it.
laughing.
I played both that and Marvel Avengers this year, and Guardians of the Galaxy is a much better game in my opinion.
I haven't played the Avengers one. Is that a single player one?
It is single player, but I think you can play it in co-op.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how that works though. I just played it on my own, and it was okay, like I guess, but Guardians of the Galaxy was a much better game.
Yeah, really, that was a good one. Apart from, I didn't really like the end. It was just kind of like got a bit repetitive. I think the last main level thing you're in was just like one of those generic shapes, just sort of like generic shapes and waves of enemies. Like, ready for this to finish now. But the the first 2/3 of the game, or 3/4, I'd say, were great.
Yeah.
Apart from that, yeah, a few. I mean, there's probably about like 30 games on this list, but the sort of main point, I suppose, I played a lot of really, really, really good games this year. Lots more than I remember playing. I was surprised when I was going through my achievement list. It's like, Christ, I played a lot of games and I finished them.
Yeah, that's really cool. I've actually played a lot more and finished a lot more games than I usually do. Like, I finished around 40 odd games, which is like some of them are like short games, like 3 hours long, hour long. Some of them are like 40 hours long or wherever. But there's been some really good games this year that I've played. Not all of them from this year, but
Yes, the kind of, I mean, I don't know, a lot of the stuff with Game Pass, because of the backwards compatibility and how well the Xbox does it, up-resing stuff and boosting frame rates and things.
yeah,
A lot of the time, I could be playing something from the Xbox One and have no idea that it's a 4, 5, 6-year-old game because it
yeah,
just runs and looks like a current gen game.
yeah. I would agree with that. There's definitely some games there that are enhanced with the Series X and S boosted capabilities.
Like yeah, on that subject, Red Dead Redemption, the Xbox 360 one. I bought that in a sale a while back. I thought, oh, let's give that a go. I've been watching a series called Godless. I think it was on Netflix, which was great. And it's kind of
Alright.
like it's almost like a Red Dead Redemption series. I was like, oh, I really fancy a bit of that. So I put it on. I had no idea it was going to do all the upscaling and looks bloody great. I mean, that
Yeah,
game's
yeah.
old. It looks really nice.
I played it, I think it was last year. I streamed it on the G Arcade channel. And, people were coming in going, wow, this game looks amazing for how
Yeah.
long. And it's like, well, yeah. I
Yeah, I was
completely agree.
I mean, there's been times in it where like you just with the lighting's just right and there's just the amount of scenery and just the amount of stuff going on, right amount of stuff going on. You look at it and think, well, little bit more polish on that, and you could easily pass that for a quite a recent game.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I was well impressed with how it looked on. I played it on the Series X. So,
Yeah,
like, it had all the boosted FPS and everything.
yeah, really good. I mean, and of course, like I say, that's sort of seamless. Sometimes I think with like backwards compatibility, it can like on PlayStation in particular, it feels like you're playing something old and you kind of almost see behind the curtain and think, yeah, it's just like an emulator running this. But the Series X just seems to just run everything so seamlessly along with all your other stuff, even down to the artwork for the tiles fitting in right. It just feels like it's all part of the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't disagree with you. Like, I've got PlayStation Plus, or whatever it's called, and I've played only one of the older games on there, which was I played the first level of Toy Story 2. It's quite fun, but like, comparing it to to be fair, comparing it to some of the Xbox games that are
Yeah,
upscaled and are like
yeah.
as in the original Xbox. They,
I mean, on that subject, my wife yesterday, she was looking through something to play. She had like an hour to kill. She's like, oh, I said, just go through anything on that Game Pass tab is free. So just anything you want, just get it done. And she's like, oh, she downloaded Morrowind, which was the original Xbox version of it.
yeah.
And I said, I said that, by the way, this is really old. She's like, oh, I just fancy having a look at it. It's like, oh, it's really old. Look, it's got the original Xbox logo on. And then she started up. And even that was upscaled and up-resed and couldn't believe it. I was expecting it to look like absolute turd. I mean, yeah, it's an old game and that, but I just wasn't expecting it to be high resolution with like a proper silky frame rate and things.
Yeah, I think like if you play Ray Replay, Banjo Kazooie and that are on there are 4K and
Yeah, they look
stuff.
amazing.
It's crazy. They it's a shame they're not doing stuff more backwards compatibility stuff because it's well worth it.
Yeah,
In my opinion, anyway. Bastards. As we've been talking about, well, we've been playing for the last approximate half hour, though we did not really record for the first 10 minutes because I kept having things happen. I was thinking we could talk about the main game of the episode, if you would like, unless you've got more games to go through and you've got something particularly interesting. Not so much interesting, but you know.
I've rambled on for long enough, I think.
Okay. I will say, as I know you're a fan of puzzle games, before we move on, actually, there's a new Picross out called Picross S8. I know you like puzzle games, so you might want to grab that.
Yeah, in fact, you recommended the last 2 Picross games on the Switch, and I wishlisted them and then never bought them because I go through waves of, but this console's my favourite, that console's my favourite, and I was playing Hades recently. I say recently, in the past sort of couple of months back, on the Switch, like to the point I was dreaming about it, and then I got sick of it and I haven't played the Switch since. So yeah, I'll have to look at picking those up.
You should. There's Picross S1 to S8, and there's also Picross Mega Drive and Master System, which are specifically those Sega like characters and stuff in there.
Yeah,
I love Picross. I'm not a big puzzle person because I fucking suck at them. But Picross, I love. Me and the missus just sit down and play for hours. Like I say hours, like an hour.
Multiplayer in it. That one.
There's multiplayer in all of them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there's 2-player multiplayer in all of them, but in the new one is 4-player multiplayer.
Really should pick that up then.
You really should.
Sounds like a really good thing to play together.
The new one have just come out, and I think it was only like £8, £10, something like that. It wasn't expensive, and that was the newest one.
Cost a half a pint now, isn't it? So can't go wrong.
Exactly. So, we will now talk about the game that we played together, which is Metal Hellsinger. First thing I'll say is when I first saw it, I thought it said Metal Hellslinger. And then when I played the game, I was like, it's actually Metal Hellsinger.
I thought it was Slinger as well.
Hellsinger.
That'll be why when I was trying to read up on it, I kept getting, did you mean?
Yeah, it's Hellsinger because the character players has, I guess, lost their voice, and the whole point is they try to get their voice back.
Yeah, that's why when you get whatever multiplayer it is, and then the vocal track kicks in.
Yeah.
And you get all excited and then lose your multiplier straight away.
Yeah. We'll start with asking you, because I always ask the guests first what they thought of the game. What did you think of the game?
I really enjoyed the idea of it. I was really bad at it. I didn't get very far. I think I played, there's 2, I say levels, it's not really a level, but it's like a set of environments, isn't it? Like start and a finish, and you sort of, I'd say it's probably about 15, 20 minutes per one. I played 2 of them, and then I did some of the challenges, which unlock when you complete one. But I was so bad at it that it was putting me off, because for those listening who don't know what it is, it's like a first-person shooter, but there's heavy metal music running to it, and you're supposed to shoot or punch or knife the enemies. It's like in a fantasy setting, the enemies on the beat to the music you're listening to. And if you do it on the beat, you do more damage. So the more beats you hit, the more damage you do, the more multiplier you get. And as the multiplier goes up, different layers of the music come in.
Yeah.
So you get like the drums all kick in heavier and make the beat easier to hear. And then if you hit, I think it's like 16 plus multiplier, then the vocals for the music come in.
Yeah.
But but not being a heavy metal fan, I found it quite hard for my little indie ears to pick out the beat properly, which is a bit strange. So it's like a strange thing in my head. I was just like trying to disconnect from playing it like a standard first-person shooter,
Yeah,
and to sort of go like 1, 2, 1, 2, and if there's something in the distance, to try and like count to the beat and get it on the beat rather than just going, well, there's 3 enemies there, I'm just going to headshot them all. To actually
yeah,
sort of back up and take your time to get the beat. And I think when you're in the rhythm, when you're actually in a proper genuine rhythm, and the multipliers are all building up, it's brilliant, like great, just like sort of hypnotic almost. And then that moment when you sort of trip over yourself and lose the beat, I find it really hard to get it back again.
yeah. I found that with certain points in songs I would do that. But overall, I found it not too bad to keep with the beat. But then again, I wasn't very good at the game either. I didn't actually finish the second stage. I got to the boss and I was like kicking his ass, and he had 1 or 2 hits left, looked like anyway. And then I fell off the level. And then as I came back up to the top of the level, it did this massive AoE blast, hit me back off the level and killed me.
Oh no. The first boss, I suspect it was the game doing a bit of false jeopardy, because it had like a pixel of health left, and it was pretty much like, if I don't hit this on the beat with my shotgun, I think it was at that point, I think the shotgun doesn't do anything to that boss unless you hit it on the beat. It's like I've pretty much got 1 shot at getting this, like a literal 1 shot of getting it, and I did get it. But I do wonder if it's kind of the game doing that, like where you've got like, oh, I managed to survive that encounter with 1 bullet left, and it's like you didn't really get 1 bullet. The game just sort of made it look like you had 1 bullet left, so you go, oh god, just scrape by on
Yeah.
that. I do wonder if it was a bit of false jeopardy, but I scraped through it. But yeah, I think the idea is really interesting. I think the presentation's really good. I mean, it feels a bit like a bit of an indie game. I don't know if it really is, but it's nicely presented. I just, because my ears just aren't tuned to that type of music, I got so lost in, I couldn't really pick the beat out. So maybe I should have dug around in the menus a bit more and boosted like the bass drum or something, just to really hammer home. And also, I calibrated my set, but
Yeah.
I was still struggling to hit the beats properly.
I think my highest streak wasn't very high. I think I managed to get like 50 odd. So 60 maybe. So
No,
like,
I
it's not
didn't
like
get
I was
that
doing
high.
perfect. I got a rare achievement for it and everything.
Yeah, I think the best I did was I got the vocals to kick in like twice, and I was like, oh, I'm doing it. Oh, well, oh. and then just sort of kind of lost it, and then just like reverted to treating it like Doom. It's like, no, step back, play it like that. Don't
Yeah.
if you can sort of unlock that bit in your brain to stop treating it like a first-person shooter and treat it more like the rhythm game it really is, then I think you do well with it.
Yeah. I think like, even though you want to get the times 16 multiplayer even, I actually preferred having 8 times, because while I like metal, I don't like the
Yeah,
kind of
it's
vocals. It's
awful,
not
isn't
my
it?
thing. So like I would I would get the 16 multiplier, but I would rather have had the 8 times multiplier, so I didn't have to listen to the vocals, because
Yeah,
it's
it's
just not my
brilliant.
cup of tea. But like in the second stage, there was the typical kind of thing going on, but then there was
Yeah.
also a female vocalist, and I was like, this is good. I like the female singer. She's
Switched
good.
to that one. Well, I had it turned up quite loud as well, and my wife was just like, she was reading at the time. She said, "What the hell is this you're playing?" I said, "Well, I'm playing it for Pedz's podcast." It's like, it's not something I ever would have given a go. I never would have looked at the screenshots in the anything that pops up new on Game Pass. I always look through everyone and go, oh, yeah, okay, what's that? I never would have thought, oh, I'll give that a go, but I'm glad I did, because I'll look out for that type of thing in the future. It's just a shame. And I don't know if it's the music. I don't know if it's that type of music. I just couldn't get in tune with it.
Yeah, that's a shame. I think The music is fine. I didn't like the vocals, as I said, because it's not my cup of tea. But the music, I had no issues with. Like I said, 8 times multiplayer, best position to be.
Yeah, I like how it was really well presented. Like I like it's suitably epic and feeling. I like the little narration that was in the cutscenes. I thought that was well done, really nicely voiced.
Yeah, yeah. There's there's not many faults for the game for me. Like the game plays well. I'm unsure if I ever got the calibration right with the sound calibration was always fine. I could keep with the beat, but when I was looking at the triangles, when I get it perfect, it would never be in the triangle line.
Yeah.
And when I do it to the timing of go in the calibration and do the timing of the light, it's like press the button when it pops up as the light pops up, and like I'd be tapping it as it comes up, and then all of a sudden it seems to go off, and it's like weird. And I was getting I did the calibration a few times with that bit, and it would be like one time it'd be like -8 ms, and the next time be -127 ms, and I'm like, what am I doing wrong?
Problem I have with that stuff as well, and I found it with Rocksmith, and whether where because you're playing your real instrument to this thing,
Yeah.
any lag just kills. You almost having to sort of compensate. The problem I get is you're treating it like a game thing because it says like press the button on the flash, but there's a click going on, like a click, click, and I find myself anticipating when the flash is going to come, and then almost anticipating it and pressing it. So I think I'm adding lag in because I'm anticipating it's coming and pressing it just ahead of time enough to hit it when the light's going, and the game's going, oh great, he's pressing, that's what your lag is, when I think I'm almost introducing lag. It's maybe I should have just stuck with the default and see what happened then.
Yeah. That might be worth doing. I did mean to play it on the PC as well I played it on the Xbox Series X. So I thought I'll try it on here, but see what it's like with a pad, and then play it on the PC and see what it's like with a mouse and keyboard, or keyboard and mouse, as most people would say. But I didn't actually get around to doing it because I've been over the last 2 weeks, it's I'm going to stream Balan Wonderworld and get that finished. I'm going to play this to the end. And then it's oh, you've got a hospital appointment. Oh, you've got another hospital appointment. Oh, you've got the dentist. Oh, one of your kids have injured themselves and they need to go to the hospital. And it's Jesus Christ. And then I've just been busy as hell, not being able to do jack shit. So I didn't finish Balan Wonderworld. I managed to get to play it twice in 2 weeks. This game, I only played it twice in 2 weeks as well, something like that. Which is a shame because I actually quite like it. I think it's a good, fun game. Like I said, vocals, no. Rest of the game, yay.
Yeah, I was glad you suggested that one because I don't think I ever would have played it, and I'm glad I did. And it sort of makes me think I should just take a punt on more stuff like Game Pass. There's no excuse, is there? Just say let's just play, even because you do a little cloud stream, can't you? Just load one up and see what it is.
Yeah.
Give it 10 minutes. You might like it.
Yeah. I wouldn't that game specifically. I wouldn't try with the cloud streaming.
No,
because
no way.
No. But to be honest, for me personally, xCloud cloud streaming is fucking awful.
Yeah, I can't use it. I just
awful. It's not like lag. It actually seems to run fine in the lag department. It's the picture quality. I posted on Twitter where it was for me, and it's I know, awful.
No, I get the same. We just in the last week got way quicker internet, and I thought the first thing I did, I thought right, maybe the cloud stuff will work now. I mean, this is supposed to be the quickest internet you can get, and you put it on. The first thing that happens is the picture does that. I saw your post about it as well, where it almost does a wipe down the screen.
Yeah,
because the controls are great. It's if you could somehow ignore that, it's it's easy to forget while you play. It plays like you're playing locally. That's no problem. It's when it suddenly goes all pixelated and then half the screen sticks.
Yeah,
and then it just wipes and then it goes. Oh yeah,
it's a shame. It's a big shame because it would be good for me to be right, I'm gonna sit down. This game I wouldn't mind trying. I'll give it 15 minutes, and then I'll click install if I'm enjoying it. Instead,
Yeah.
I'm like, right, I'll have to download the game, play it, don't like it, delete it, and it's like, Jesus Christ, what a waste of
Yeah,
my time.
the Game Pass quests that give you those little rewards. I've played quite a few things, and I read a little tip on them because I was downloading them, and someone said, "No, just use the cloud launcher and get your achievement thing that way."
Yeah,
And
right
there's
to
a few
do,
that,
and it's hard to do though because you can't fucking see anything most of the time.
yeah,
Especially
but,
telling you to, when it's like play the game, it's fine. You just load it up with the cloud and knock it off.
yeah,
When you have to do something specific, it's like really hard to do.
yeah,
I remember one of them was for Wolfenstein New Order, and I had to get one kill. But the first section of the game is a flying part, and I was doing it via cloud because I couldn't be bothered to download the game. I couldn't see anything for the section where you're shooting stuff on the plane. I literally couldn't see anything because it like completely seized up the picture ad. And I was just shooting, and I died the first time. I thought, oh, I'll have to download it. I'll give it one more go. And I managed to get through it the second time. I was like, how did I even manage that? I couldn't see any of the planes attacking me.
that's like
Stupid.
sort of Matrix levels gameplaying.
That's just pure luck. I mean, skill, pure skill.
Yeah, I don't think my picture thing's been that bad, but
Oh,
it tends to be things where like more fast-paced stuff where there's more going on. But sometimes every now and then, one of them will be to the point like a little slow, like I say, like a puzzle game or something, where you can almost forget that it's streaming. But most of the time, it does that horrible. You move the camera and it does that horrible wipe thing.
yeah. That's annoying. It does that for me on menus. I'm like, really? And the worst thing is like when I had Stadia, I never had that once with it. When I've streamed on PlayStation Cloud Gaming, never had that once with it. xCloud does not like it.
Yeah, it's funny. Must just be its way. It must send the video in a different way or something.
Yeah, I would say so. Right, I think we were talking about Hellsinger. So you only did the first two worlds, so you only unlocked the shotgun and the pistols.
Yes.
I was wondering if you'd unlocked any more. I was wondering if you knew more weapons because I only had those two.
No,
As
and
well.
I tended to just stick with the shotgun. Again, that's my sort of FPS brain going, oh, okay, well, great, I've got a shotgun now, rather than try and persevere with the sword. Was it a sword or a dagger? I forget.
I think it was a sword, but I never used the sword very much. I mainly used the skull.
Yeah, the skull was pretty good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And when you build up enough, I can't remember what it's called, where you build up that special attack and it just wrecks everything.
Yeah. But that's what I would mainly do is shoot stuff, press the right stick to moida them, finish them off.
Yeah, that was quite cool, wasn't it? Where there's like a like a Doom style sort of thing. If you've done it right on the beat, you can then go like you can do it on the second beat. You can do like a press another button and it does a glory kill.
Yeah.
So chaining those together was really satisfying because it drags you across the level, doesn't it? So if there's 1 miles away, you can and pull yourself around the level. It's pretty cool. You get health, don't you?
Yeah, that's why I one of the best things about it really is the fact you get health from it. Other than it look really cool.
Yeah, it's pretty satisfying. That was one of those like when I was in the zone with that, I was, oh, this is really good, and then I've lost it.
But yeah, mainly the skull and the pistols I ended up using because while the pistols weren't quite as powerful as the shotgun, it would kill things rather bloody quickly, and it would run out of ammo less, not as quickly as the shotgun, I think. And also, it seemed to have better range, so I would switch between the pistols and the skull. But the skull, I would mainly, even when just walking around, I'd be shooting the skull just to keep my multiplayer up.
Ah, that's interesting. I didn't think to do that. So what I did find was weird that I couldn't hit the beats properly, but the active reload thing, where you got to hit the little gold indicator, get that every time, no problem. So why couldn't I do the rest of it?
I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me, considering that's on the beat.
Yeah, bizarre.
Brilliant. I am. How much more can you say about this game?
Well, I think I gave it a fair go, but I'd like to be good enough to have got to the end of it, because
Yeah.
I wonder if it, I get the feeling there's more and more cool stuff was going to unlock as you went along. There could be some amazing thing that unlocks in the last couple of levels, which
Yeah.
makes it into, elevates it to being one of those really good games, and I've just missed it. Maybe I'll have a little look on YouTube and look at some of the latest stuff.
Yeah, that's a good idea. One question I tend to ask people if they don't finish the game is, do you intend on going back to play it at all?
I might, yeah. I probably will go back I've kept it installed, so I might just have a little go and try and persevere a bit. I'll probably have a little look and see what there is, and if there's some really cool stuff, then I might stick with it. It's the sort of thing I think it'd be good to be good at. You don't have to
Yeah.
really don't have to really particularly like the subject or anything or the music, but I think if you could get good at it, it would be really satisfying, because there's nothing that I've played that's like it, really.
No, I've played rhythm games, like plenty of them, but it feels different with the whole rhythm FPS. It feels like Doom, but with a rhythm to it, whereas Doom is
Yeah,
just fucking rip shit up. This is rip shit up in to a certain timing. You could kill this thing at 160 beats per minute. Any faster or slower, you can't do it.
yeah. If only you could import your own soundtracks, I could slay people to Wonderwall. That'd be my thing.
I'm happy Slaying to Wasp playing if they didn't have the stupid vocals. I
Yeah,
don't
it's
I don't
pretty.
like the guttural
Yeah,
constipation sound or the high pitched screaming of a cat.
I used to work with back the warehouse job I used to have. One of the side room, one of the other sort of department things, there's a woman who used to just listen to that kind of stuff really loud in her own room she had, where she was in charge of a certain thing, and it was just like and just all day, like, oh god. So when you had to go in that room, it's like, oh, please turn it off.
That's brilliant. I remember when I used to work in a supermarket, like when I was 16, while I was still in school, at co-op, and at 10, I used to work 8 till 12 in the evening, obviously because I was in
Oh,
school in the days.
nice.
And at 10 o'clock, the shop would shut, and then people would put music on. And like most of the time, it was everyone else's shit music. But on the occasion, me and my friend they would put on something that we liked, and most people were like, "This is shit. This is," because it was like fucking either some kind of punk band or some kind of metal band.
Oh god, my first job was working in Safeway. I'd have, after college, I'd have my 6 till 9, no, 6 till 10, and then on weekends I'd be in all day. But it was always because when I left in the evenings, that's when the night shift would come in. Yeah, so they popped their stuff on as I was leaving, but you'd have to put up with the supermarket's awful music
Yeah.
all day, and interspersed with the adverts.
Fun times. Not times at all. Simpler times though. Simpler times.
Yeah, that was easy. It really was.
Yeah.
We used to like, oh, I hate this job. I just, God, it was easy.
Yeah.
Just come in. There's a pallet. There's 2 pallets of stuff. You've got 3 hours. Go and see what needs refilling. If it doesn't need refilling, stick a colour tag on the shelf to say you've got some, and then put it on the racking. Done.
There
I'd
you
do
go.
that now, please.
Yeah. I don't really have much else to say on the subject of the game. So we could call it a night here if you're ready. I
Yeah.
would say that I did enjoy what I played at that game. I enjoyed, and I plan on going back to it. I genuinely enjoyed it, and a lot. Like every game I've said I'm going back to that I've not finished on the podcast, I think I've actually finished. So this one I will go back to and probably finish.
Yeah, it'd be nice. I'd be interested to see your opinions on playing through all of it.
Yeah,
That's a sort of thing I think it'd be nice just to keep installed, and every now and then just to sort of play a level or play a
yeah,
challenge or something.
yeah. That'd be fun. Um, but I wanna crack on with it because it's interesting.
Yeah,
It's an interesting playing experience more than anything.
Yeah.
Like the story now, I'm not really that bothered about because, I'm not that bothered. But it's quite intriguing. Like the playing an FPS to a rhythm. I don't know why. Because like in Doom, you're just like in this, and you're gonna have to just gotta be very specific on your shooting.
That's it. It's detaching your brain from, because you're still moving around like you would in a traditional FPS. The movement's the same. It's lining people up and waiting for that window of the beat to do it, rather than just running around the corner going, well, I've got a shotgun and I'm right by someone.
Yeah.
And the temptation is just try and headshot them, but you've done it off beat and then nothing really happens. Should have just held back.
Yeah. Completely agree with you again. I agree a lot with people on this podcast so far. There hasn't been really much disagreeing on anything. It's quite funny, actually. There you go. I think that's going to be us then. And I don't have anyone lined up for the next podcast or game, so it's going to be whoever's available, I think. Whoever I ask, and they better say yes.
Yeah. I didn't appreciate that threat, but I've come on here just in case you follow through with it.
Yeah. The threat, for anyone wondering, was that I threatened Victor with Pugsley's farts. That if he doesn't come on the podcast, I'm going to make him fart through his letterbox for 6 months solid. And, no one wants my dog farting for 6 months through the letterbox.
Okay, just fart into a padded envelope and then post it to me.
It's a good idea.
Got to be done now, hasn't it? Secret Santa.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to be us. Thank you for taking part, dude. It has been a pleasure having you on.
Yeah, lovely to talk to you. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, dude. We will be back in 2 weeks' time. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.
See you later.
Hello, and welcome to... Fuck, what episode is this? Is it the 8th episode? Yeah, it is. I think so. Yeah. Hello, and welcome... Welcome.
Wiki where?
Hello, and welcome to the 8th episode of Pedz Game Shack. Today I have another guest who goes by the name of Victor Mildew or Ad7. Which one are you going by?
Oh, that's going old school. Let's go with Victor. Hello.
Right, Victor. We're going with Victor. Right. Should I start again? I think I'll start again.
Yeah.
Fuck.
No, let's do it.
Third section, we play together. I don't know if we're going to do any news today. The fuck? A lot of stuff just fell over. Randomly. Where was I? Yeah, so there's 3 sections. The first section is something or other. That's thrown me out. I've a load of shit just fell over behind me.
We're currently playing
Right.